The PACT group of the First Unitarian Church of San Jose decided to take up closely related issues of immigration and racial profiling after an extensive campaign polled the congregation about what issues were important to them. This decision reflects our basic church principles. We covenant to affirm and promote the inherent worth and dignity of every person, and justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Our research highlighted these issues: lack of meaningful immigration reform, as well as the application of federal and state policies, is contributing to unnecessary and unfair situations, including deportation, and also leads to growing distrust of law enforcement.
People are getting deported, and it is getting worse. Under the Obama administration, 10% more people have been deported than under the Bush administration. That means 750,000 people have been deported since 2009, breaking up families, and which means still more are living in fear, as deportation affects more than the individual deported. And today, Assemblyman Tim Donnelly is in Sacramento to present an Arizona copycat bill. The inappropriately named Secure Communities Program, also known as SCOM, has actually increased fear in the immigrant community by requiring states, communities, and cities to participate in submitting fingerprints of those arrested, whether convicted or not, to the Immigration and Customs Enforcement Agency, that's ICE, for possible deportation.
We held meetings with many city and county officials, members of the police community, lawyers, PACT congregations, and others who work with the immigrant community. The research pointed to several areas of concern. Recent surveys representing East and South San Jose found that over a third of residents surveyed would be afraid to report a crime for fear of the police causing them or family members to be deported or having negative effects on their legal residence status. Recent PACT actions at other churches have shown that community policing, where police build trust with the members of a community, is effective in making neighborhoods safer. At Pleasant, police coverage is uneven. For example, a disproportionate number of police are in downtown San Jose on weekends, while other areas that would benefit greatly from concerted community policing are underserved. Significant cuts in programs and funding make it even more important to allocate resources fairly and effectively.
Bias-based policing, a broader term than racial profiling, includes both how people are selected to be stopped and what happens during the time a person is stopped by the police. Our research showed that race and ethnicity could dramatically affect how an individual is treated. Have you ever been asked to sit on a curb during a routine car stop? Whether your answer is yes or no probably depends on your ethnicity. We learned that police receive training regarding police profiling, but currently none is recognizing and minimizing bias in policing practices. In addition, another area of concern is that despite programs now in place, recidivism, returning to prison as a repeat offender, has increased this year. Crimes of youth who enter juvenile detention facilities for a minor offense are likely to increase in severity due to the difficulty of overcoming the economic and social alienation experienced when released. 87% of youth in juvenile facilities are youth of color.
Our research showed two areas where the consequences of our laws can bring about unintended hardship. First is where minor driving offenses could be reclassified as infractions rather than misdemeanors. Currently, 10,000 residents in this county are cited for Vehicle Code 14601, driving with a suspended license, which is a misdemeanor. This could be for multiple incidents of being cited for driving without a license or even for driving with radiation materials. 6,000 of those are undocumented residents who, of course, are no longer eligible to obtain a driver's license. Although these are similar to citations now treated as infractions, they are currently classified as misdemeanors, which requires that their fingerprints be sent to ICE. This can derail their eligibility for eventual legal status and even lead to deportation. The second area where the DA's office can reduce unintended consequences would be by adding immigration consequences to the list of things that can be considered when negotiating what a punishment should be, which is also known as plea bargaining.
We offer some feasible solutions. We need comprehensive immigration reform at the national level. And until then, we can stop unfair deportations by changing more nonviolent traffic misdemeanors to infractions, and by the district attorneys taking immigration consequences into account when plea bargaining. For rebuilding community trust, one piece would be a real plan to stop bias-based policing, meaningful training for our police officers that includes examination of their personal biases, as well as multicultural training. Another piece would be keeping police officers in high-crime neighborhoods long enough to build a mutually respectful relationship with community members in order to reduce crime.
Another piece could be a program such as Lifelines, which have been found very effective in other cities. Through a methodical process, repeat offenders identified by statistics and the community meet with faith leaders, community members, law enforcement, probation, and social service agencies who offer a message of reconciliation and hope for offenders as long as they work closely with a case manager to find work and support services. Thank you.